Hey guys, it's Trent Moffat, the buyer's agent. I'm just about to check out a one-bedroom apartment in Melbourne. I'm going to run the numbers and I thought, why don't I just show you guys how I do it, see my kind of process, and if that helps you guys on your property journey, then that's awesome. So follow me and let's check it out. So this is the property here. It's 707/King Street in Prahran in Victoria. Prahran is actually quite a nice suburb. It's very affluent, a lot of cool shops, transport links. It's relatively easy to kind of get in and out of the city. The agents put a price guide of $360,000 to $396,000. It's a one bed, one bath, and one car space apartment. The first thing that I like to do is go back and track the history of the property, like how much growth has there been, when did it last get sold. That kind of gives me a bit of a baseline in terms of, all right, well, what's happened over this property over the last 2 years. I can then benchmark the property's performance against the suburb performance. But here's what I noticed with this property. It was built in 2012. This would be an off the plan sale. It's from a developer and it was sold for $490,000. And now today, which is 2023, they're trying to sell it for less than that price. So straight away, it's a bit of a red flag, as this property's gone from $490,000 13 years ago to now most likely under $400,000 in 2023. Just run some really basic numbers on the property's performance. So it was initial value was $490,000, and let's just assume the final value, it sells tomorrow at $390,000, which is around the kind of price guide mark. And the number of years was 3 years. So this property is going down in value by around about 1.7% every single year for the last 13 years. I would then benchmark this number against the suburb performance of Prahran. From that point, I'm going to run a really quick CMA. Then I'm just going to look at my current listings that are on the market. And again, these are in the exact same building. So unit number 611, it's selling for $360,000 to $390,000 price guide. And then the subject property, which is what we're looking at, is also $360,000 to $396,000. So now I'm just looking at the suburbs long-term market trends for units over the last 20 years. What I did notice from 2004, the median unit price in Prahran was $321,500, and now the median unit price is $630,000. So I would just get this figure, 321 and 630, plug that into the calculator, and that'll give me a spread over what's this suburb been performing at over the last 20 years. Prahran for units has been growing at an annual rate of around 3.4%. What you're trying to achieve here is like, what is the property performing at? And we know it's minus 1.7%. And we're now benchmarking that against the suburb, which is performing at 3.4% over 20 years. But now I just want to compare 14 years of the property to 14 years of the suburb. As you can see, the suburb's performance over the last 14 years for units has been around about 1.96%. And so to me, something's a little bit off here, as the suburb performance for units over 14 years being 1.96% is very, very low. And then benchmarking that against the property, which is minus 1.7% every single year for 14 years, is also very, very low. So going forward, I would then plug the 1.96% into the capital growth calculator and see if you can forecast it for the next 10 years. As you can see, the average capital growth would be around about $8,000. The capital growth over the life of the investment, which would be 10 years, is only around $80,000, and the property value would be $470,000. And then just to run the cash flow numbers on the property, just head over to PropCalc, which is the easiest calculator to use in terms of getting a bit of a cash flow analysis. I'm going to assume that I'm an owner occupier and I'm going to buy this property. So just add in all your numbers. It's super easy. I'm just going to assume I'm buying the property for $390,000 with a 20% deposit. It then auto-puts all the body corporate fees. Now you may need to slightly adjust these fees per property. And then as you can see, it auto-populates everything, and then it says that my holding costs on this property are going to be around about $527 per week. That's based on a 20% deposit. I did put in a 5% interest rate, and that may kind of increase. And my purchase price was $390,000. So for me, this property just didn't tick enough boxes, and it's a bit of a risk. The last 14 years, the property didn't perform. It was actually minus growth. The next 10 years, I've benchmarked that against what the suburb median is, and even that suburb median was really, really low. So there you have it. That's how I would quickly break down this property and run the numbers. If I was interested in this property and it did have much better growth, I would dive a little bit deeper into the comparable sales. I'd call the sales agent. I'd try and uncover a little bit more information. If you're a buyer, just hit subscribe, chuck some comments below, and I hope you got some value.